invité du jour, Charles Fall, un jeune Américain né de parents guinéens, dont notre cher compatriote Didier Fall qui fait de l'énergie solaire. Son fils, Charles Fall, 29 ans, est un jeune qui inspire par ses ambitions politiques et sa détermination à aider les populations de son district. Chef de parc à New York City, aujourd'hui il aspire à un poste à la députation dans sa ville natale, Staten Island. Je reçois Charles Fall. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Fall. Welcome, Mr. Charles Fall, to my TV show. Thank you for coming here today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I'm very glad to have you here today in my TV show. Despite your busy schedule, you decided to come here today so we can talk about what's going on here
Absolutely.
in Staten Island. Could you start to introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yeah, sure. So, of course, my name is Charles Fall. I'm running for New York State Assembly in the 61st Assembly District out on Staten Island. Of course, that is the neighborhood that I grew up in, raising my family in. I've went to school in this community. My daughter's growing up in this community. And growing up in this community, I've seen a lot of things that have not changed. One of the reasons why I'm running is because I want to use the experience that I have in government, working for the mayor's office, working for a city agency. I've seen firsthand how visions can become reality. I've had experience fighting for capital dollars. I understand how to navigate bureaucracy, worked with elected officials, and I believe those are the qualities that will help me be a good elected official.
Okay, so that's why, so you did your announcement in Staten Island.
Correct.
And you're going to see the first video. And I think you didn't see the video yet, right?
No.
Did you see the video yet?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, so I'm going to show you the first video, and we're going to come back here to make more comment.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Money that the state owes us for the individualized education programs. The state owes the city billions of dollars. This means thousands of students aren't getting the adequate help that they need. That's why I'm running, to get that funding. Our hospitals need more aid. We need more funding for youth programming. As your representative, I will work with my colleagues to advocate for equal pay and equal work. I will vote against anything that tampers with a woman's right to choose. I will also be a voice and stand up against any sexual harassment in any of our workplaces, because it's wrong. Change in our criminal justice reform. And I'm going to tell you where that starts. We need to end cash bail immediately. Nobody should have to go to jail and stay in jail because of the funds that they don't have.
We're going to focus on a few things here: transportation, school, criminal justice. And let's talk about transportation first. What is the need of people in transportation right now? And if you are elected as assembly member, what you're going to do to improve the transportation in Staten Island?
Great, and thank you for asking that question. So we have a serious transportation issue on Staten Island. People have the longest commute in any of the 5 boroughs. It's almost like a transportation desert in certain areas of the borough, and that is completely unacceptable. So what we have to do is expand our bus services. That's number one.
There are 400 bus services, I think, though.
Yes, but we have to expand them.
Okay.
So right now, when you look at
it's not enough. 400 is not enough.
It's not enough, not on Staten Island, because you got to remember, right? This is, a lot of people on Staten Island travel via vehicles, right? So when I say expanding our bus services, if you look at, for instance, like the 53, 56, certain buses that are in Port Richmond, they stop at Ferry Street. And part of the reason why is because a long time ago, that's where a ferry used to take people in Port Richmond to Bayonne. That ferry no longer exists. So we need to take a look at that and reevaluate where we can improve those services, right? That's one thing. Another thing is that we have to get the North Shore right away back up and going. There is no reason why that rail line should be out of service for over 70 years.
Why?
That's when you know government is not working. Government needs to set its priorities straight. and when I mentioned during a speech, why are we prioritizing raising a bridge 90 feet?
And what did they say? What did they say about that? That was good question.
Yeah, no. And look, that is a good question, right? And I strongly feel like we need more civic engagement. If the community had a voice on which projects should be funding, I think the community would have said we need to get this North Shore right-of-way up and going first, and then we could raise the bridge.
Okay. Thank you so much. So we don't have enough time, only half an hour.
Sure.
And I think you're going to come back here again in this TV show.
Absolutely.
But let's go to the next, which is very important, school, pre-K.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on your Facebook and I saw some of the pictures there that you took on some school, preschool, I think.
Yeah.
So they're going to show the picture and we're going to make comment on this picture.
Okay.
This is picture you took from a school, pre-K school. Is that true, or this is Photoshop? Because when I saw this broke my heart. Yes. Is that true?
So this is the Staten Island Advance actually published this photo, and it shows.
So it's official.
It is official. This is, from what I understand, the local media outlet posted this picture.
Next picture, please. Next picture, please. Yes.
They posted this picture on their website, and that is deeply troubling that we would have kids learning under those conditions. That is completely unacceptable, and we need answers immediately. And again, kids should not have to be learning in any conditions that are deemed hazardous. We do.
And you say classes are overcrowded, right?
They are overcrowded on Staten Island. And again, that's why we need more funding to help alleviate that overcrowding. So when you think about it, teachers are, instead of having a smaller ratio from one teacher to children, they have a much bigger ratio because of the overcrowding issues, and that could, and we always say if you have a smaller ratio of children to teacher, it helps the students in the long run, I believe.
Okay. So, I saw your daughter. She's very cute.
Very beautiful, right?
Yeah, very beautiful.
She gets it from her mother.
So tell me, how is she doing in school? She's pre-K, right?
She is in pre-K.
How is she doing in school?
I personally see the first-hand impact that pre-K has on her.
Okay.
She loves school. I enjoy hearing her stories every day of her encounters, and we see, again, the importance pre-K can have on a kid. If they are exposed to early childhood at an early age, we see what happens. They're more likely to graduate high school on time, go to college, less likely to drop out, and be more successful individuals, and I'm very confident that my beautiful, precious little baby will be something big one day.
Okay. If we have time, I will ask you to show the second video, please. Thank you.
I have the experience as a community leader and as a government official in making these visions become reality. That experience includes fighting for capital dollars and working with our elected officials to achieve a common goal. And I'll give you a perfect example. This park right here, where I grew up at, where I spent most of my time, this park has not seen any love in 20 years, no investment. But guess what? Starting next year, this park will be reconstructed. All right. And I'll tell you why, because we know how to turn visions into reality. That's why. So we all know the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Everyone that is here today is part of my village. And this is the village that will help me become the next assembly member in this district. This is not going to be a sprint. This is going to be a marathon. The election is September 13th.
This is one thing very important. When you talk about criminal justice, you say that nobody has to stay in jail, right, because they don't have money.
So when I talk about criminal justice reform, right, we have to understand one thing. If somebody does a serious crime and they are deemed a public safety risk, they shouldn't be out on the street. and a judge will not grant them bail. That's the point that I was making that
So
day.
this is when you're going to get elected, right, as assembly member, this is something that you're going to fight for.
Absolutely, that is going to be definitely something I will fight for, because it is a form of inequality, and I think it definitely does target a certain population, and I think we can, you know, definitely, you know, work with the state senate and the governor's office to make it a reality. Absolutely. So it's two things, right? So one, if I'm elected, I will fight for funding for Cure Violence. So what Cure Violence does is it you know, it funds programs that are, you know, people that are considered violence interrupters, people that have credibility in the community that will, you know, help deter any violence from happening. So we definitely need to fund our Cure Violence program. The second thing is that we need more programming in our community. Again, right, if we do have more after-school programs and opportunities
and
for
more jobs too,
and job opportunities, you know, I think that will go a long.
How are you gonna create jobs? Tell me.
So if you look at the, I mean, if you heard some of the plans that I've mentioned on the day of my speech, right? If we are able to build that North Shore right away, get the funding for it, that will create local jobs. You know, oftentimes.
How many jobs that can create?
That can create. No, they could create many jobs. So that's what I could tell you. You know. And if you look at, you know, what that can do for the local community, and if you think about the jobs that we have been promised, when you look at the New York Wheel, those are jobs that were supposed to come to our community, and now the project is, you know, far from happening now, you know?
Like I said, we don't have enough time. We're going to jump to the next topic, which is housing problem.
Yeah.
You know, housing issue is a big problem in New York City.
Absolutely.
Some people spend like even $10,000 to have like affordable housing, Section 8. So what are you gonna do to help people to have affordable housing?
So, you know, of course, the housing crisis across the city that needs a lot of work. You know, while I was at City Hall, there was a big initiative to create 200,000 units of affordable housing throughout the city. You know, we are seeing a lot of progress throughout the city, right? So what I would do if I'm elected, I will work with developers to ensure that any development that they do have requires a certain amount, not only the bare minimum amount of affordable housing, but more past what they're required to do.
Because believe me, if you do this, right, if you do this, Chafa, the next day I will move in Staten Island.
I think that's a really good idea. And you'll love Staten Island.
And one thing I will tell you, you'll be my wife's best friend. Because believe me, we are struggling to find affordable houses.
Yes.
It's almost very impossible to have.
And it's not fair, right? Because I'm sure you're a very hardworking man, and so is your wife, and it's unfortunate that we have to have a system where people are paying the majority of their income toward rent. It shouldn't have to be that way. And if I'm elected, I will work with my colleagues to, have a plan in place to address that issue.
Okay. Number 3 video, people are telling good things about you. We're going to show the video, and we're going to come back for comment. Good. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. I met Charles when I was working at the city council, and Charles was at the mayor's office. Charles was somebody that we developed a friendship very quickly. He's a man of faith. He's a family man. He comes from good stock. He's a hardworking, energetic, talented young man, and I think he's the best candidate to be our assembly member. And I just pray that he wins this race and that he brings a lot of change, diversity, a lot of great attitude, good energy to this borough, because we need it.
Heroic. You know, he truly cares about the community. He's shown it through the work he's done. He's been part of the team that made sure that universal pre-K is a thing. He's part of the group that made sure that, in New York City public schools, Eid can be a day off. Because, we have so many kids who are Muslim. And, before, back in the day, they had to have letters and whatnot. He was part of the team that made sure that it's a day off for everyone, So things like that he's been part of. His work is consistent. He's a family man, and he's really caring about the community. He could have chosen so many other places, but he chose it here. Because this is where it began. This is where the roots started to grow.
On est ici pour le soutenir, pour qu'il aille en haut. En haut de en haut. Et on prie Dieu, que Dieu l'aide, il va devenir ce qu'il veut. par la grâce de Dieu, Inch'Allah. Voilà.
Charles, on le connaît quand il était tout petit. Donc, notre souhait, quand on a vu que Charles s'est présenté candidat, on ne fait que prier Dieu pour qu'il gagne, parce qu'on sait qu'il va faire l'affaire de la communauté.
Nous nous sommes engagés aujourd'hui à travers toutes sortes d'aides pour venir en aide pour que M. Charles Fall puisse remporter ces élections.
Donc nous sommes très très fiers et nous allons nous organiser pour réellement le supporter financièrement, mais stratégiquement aussi, parce que là, c'est un exemple pour les autres enfants qui sont là. Donc c'est une suite logique et nous sommes convaincus que nous allons continuer à avoir beaucoup plus de jeunes d'origine guinéenne, d'origine africaine, qui vont continuer réellement à ascender à des positions politiques, des positions de responsabilité dans l'État de New York.
Dès le début, à 14 h, on a fixé les drapeaux, tout. Et nous sommes venus l'assister physiquement et moralement, le soutenir. Inch'Allah, il va se retourner à la communauté dans les différentes mosquées. Nous allons faire non seulement des doigts, mais des contributions économiques pour l'assister, faire la campagne. Bien que nous, qui sommes à Harlem, dans les autres boroughs, on n'est pas obligé de venir voter. Nous n'avons pas le droit de venir voter, mais on peut faire un support économique, physique, pour apporter le soutien à ceux qui veulent le supporter.
I was just looking at him. I was just telling him that I see a future Obama on the rise, you know, if not better. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Charles is that guy to do it. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, I'm proud of you. Congratulations, man. Keep on grinding. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, je suis vraiment très contente. Je suis contente parce que je sais que Charles a toujours été là pour aider les gens, pour aider ses people, la population, ses parents, sa communauté, c'est ce que je voulais dire. Et on est vraiment très fiers de lui. Il a toujours eu le souhait d'être là, représenter la communauté un jour, et aujourd'hui il a fait preuve de ça.
Précisément, concrètement.
Il y a eu un moment où Charles était, quand il travaillait pour le maire, c'est lui qui représentait, c'est lui qui était la liaison entre les musulmans, les mosquées et le maire. Chaque vendredi, il partait dans chaque mosquée, demander leurs problèmes et puis essayer d'adresser les problèmes. Il y a eu un moment, il n'y avait pas de fête ici pour les musulmans. Il n'y avait pas de Eid, c'était pas chômé. Au moment où il était à la mairie, il a beaucoup lutté pour ça, pour que les musulmans aussi ont un jour holiday. Donc une fois par an ou 2 fois par an, 2 fois par an, Ramadan et Tabaski, c'est férié, les enfants ne vont pas à l'école. Donc ça c'est un grand achievement que Charles a fait.
Il y a eu un moment où nous, notre mosquée, la Basse-Côte, a pris feu ici. Charles nous a aidé, la Basse-Côte, à avoir une place à Manhattan. Pendant 2 ans, on n'a jamais ni rien payé, ni facture d'eau, ni facture d'électricité. Il faut y vivre pour y croire. Il a fait ça ni loyer, ni location. Alors, tout ça, c'est des aides extraordinaires que Charles fait. Et nous pensons qu'il a la possibilité et il a la volonté. Et puis, on est sûr qu'il peut le faire. Il peut le faire.
Merci beaucoup.
C'est à nous de vous remercier. Charles aime la Guinée. Il vient juste de quitter la Guinée il y a 2 semaines. Alors, il dit qu'il faut qu'il aille en Guinée, d'abord chercher la bénédiction de tous ses grands-pères, pour qu'ils viennent maintenant s'annoncer pour faire la politique. Voilà. Merci beaucoup. Donc, merci.
How do you describe this mobilization, this support of the community, your parents, and everybody around you?
Well, one, I'm really humbled by all the kind words that everybody says. I'm very blessed and fortunate that I have always had parents and just a strong family in general that has always been very supportive. Like I said during that day of the announcement, that is my village, and it's going to require that village for me to win this race, and I'm very optimistic, and I'm hopeful that everybody will be involved and help me get across the finish line.
You know, people say a lot of good things about you. Some say you are heroic, hard worker, and, you know, polite. So what is one word that describes you?
I'm a learner.
You are a learner.
I'm a learner, and I listen.
Okay. Okay, good. So what do you want people to remember you?
One, that I am hardworking. I have, again, the experience in government. I love my community. There are issues in my community, and I feel like I have the experience and the energetic leadership that it will take to improve what my community needs.
Okay. What is your fear when you're going to be elected? Are you scared not to be able to satisfy people's needs?
Yeah, so look, nothing in life comes easy. There's always going to be challenges no matter what anyone does. And I know there's going to be challenges ahead of me, you know, and I'm, you know, looking forward to facing those challenges and overcoming, you know, whatever challenge I may face.
Okay, the last question I'm going to ask you, you're going to tell me what is your vision in 10 years, 5 years, 10 years? What is your vision?
My vision is to make sure that Staten Island is in a better place if I'm elected and when I win, in terms of all the transportation improvements that we have and education funding and the more funding for youth that we have.
So this is your last word. You're going to invite people to vote for you September 13th?
Yes, so September 13th is the election. So I hope, you know, if you do live in the 61st Assembly District, please come out and vote. If you don't live in the district, you can support the campaign by contributing or volunteering. And then for more information, you could visit our website, www.charlesfall4ny.com. All letters, no numbers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles Fall, for coming in my TV show. I know you can make it happen.
Appreciate it.
Because you are energetic, you are intelligent, smart, and you have everything to make this thing happen. So again, congratulations.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Thank you.
The election is September 13th. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of door knocking to do, phone banking. And everybody can help in many different ways, such as hosting a barbecue, contributing to the campaign, and as I mentioned, phone banking and door knocking. You could visit our website, Charles Fall for NY.
You want the mic now? All right. All right, great. All right, so I think everybody can hear me loud and clear now. You want me to start over? Nah. All right, but for more information, you can visit our website at www.charlesfall4ny.com. All letters, no numbers. I want to just sincerely thank everybody again for being here today, because this is a very special moment in my life, in my family's life, and I feel like in my neighborhood's life, because there is a lot of change that will come as a result of me winning this election with your help. If you ask me, I think we need a fall for all seasons.
Voilà, merci de nous avoir suivis dans cette émission aujourd'hui. Nous avons reçu M. Charles Fall qui aspire à un poste à la députation dans sa commune à Staten Island. Merci Karim Tosh. Toute l'équipe de Bronx TV.net, je vous remercie. Et merci à M. Didier Fall d'être venu aujourd'hui dans ce studio. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Four, I'm sorry. Those are the 61st. Those are the 61st. Yeah, walk over there. put your hand down. Okay. Now the results are 37 for Charles Fall, 11 for Pat Kane, 1 for Bobby DiGiolissa. The county committee has voted to nominate for endorsement Charles Fall. Secretary. Charles, please come up.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chair, Madam Secretary, members of the Executive Committee, members of the County Committee, and distinguished guests. I accept the nomination to be your nominee for the 61st Assembly District.
On est très très content. Charles a été nominé aujourd'hui par les démocrates. Democratic Party, on est très très fiers et là on est à 80% sûr qu'il va gagner l'élection. Merci.
Mais pourquoi pas 100%?
Parce que les 10% sont avec, you know.
Mais Monsieur Didier, pour vous c'est 200%, c'est ça, non?
C'est clair. Vous savez, quand le travail est bien fait, c'est toujours bien payé. Alors franchement, il n'y a pas de surprise chez nous. Ce qui s'est passé, Charles a été plébiscité, comme vous avez vu, il a été plébiscité par l'électorat et les gens ont voté pour lui. Finalement, je pense qu'il est le candidat le mieux placé pour partir pour le New York State Assembly.
Une question à madame. Madame, lorsque vous étiez dans votre siège, vous suivez toute cette élection. Vous voyez, vous commencez déjà à rire. Vous suivez toute cette élection. Est-ce que quelque part, où étiez-vous? Vous doutiez, vous aviez peur ou bien vous étiez confidente?
En fait, j'avais peur, j'étais nerveuse et je suis là, c'est comme si je rêvais. Je sais qu'il le méritait, mais tu sais, dans ce pays, il faut s'attendre à tout. Donc, j'étais vraiment très, très, très surprise et contente.
Monsieur Charles, Monsieur Didier, quant à vous, je ne voyais aucune émotion sur votre visage. C'est comme si voilà, vous étiez sûr que tout allait bien se passer.
Mais oui, vous savez, Torche, comme je le dis là, souvent le travail bien fait est toujours bien payé, quoi. L'émotion, je n'avais pas parce que j'étais sûr que Charles était vraiment le candidat favori, il est le mieux placé, le mieux sur qui tu peux compter pour faire ce travail pour notre district 61. Et je pense qu'il n'y a pas de doute, Charles se prépare et il sera à Albany, il sera là-bas comme le député, notre député, avec certainement la volonté de Dieu et avec toutes les prières. Nous sommes vraiment très fiers et très contents. Et on remercie l'Assemblée, on remercie tous ceux qui ont voté pour lui. Et voilà, que Dieu nous aide. Merci.